Hello everyone, welcome back to Ask Sophie, a series where I try to deconstruct female character tropes in the media. But today, however, I'll be doing something a bit different. So when I had originally started this series, I planned on making 10 episodes, and since I've already made 5 episodes, I realized that I'm halfway through my intended amount of episodes for this series. And I just wanted to take a moment to reflect and sort of give you a behind the scenes perspective of where I'm coming from with these. But okay, so the reason I started this obviously was to examine character tropes, but the more I did research into each trope, the more I felt like there was a part of me that connected to each. So far we've talked about the temptress / Becky with the good hair, cool girl. We also talked about the smart girl and this. Pulling it up. Okay, so yeah, we talked about the smart girl and the best friend, or the black best friend. So yeah, I just realized that there's a lot of connection between myself and these characters, and I don't know if anyone else felt the same way, but it just grew to show it grows to show just how inaccurate these character tropes are and how limiting they are for women, because it's just girls are so complex and women are so complex, and to try to fit an entire person into one label is very unfair and is not at all representative of the real world. So that being said, my plans for the future would be obviously to continue and finish this series, and then I realized I grew really passionate about the episode I did with Coco Brown about the black best friend, and I'd really love to do an all about black girls series, just examining character tropes for black girls, because as a black woman, I feel like there's barely any representation of me in the media except black media. So it'd be really interesting to examine sort of different character tropes for black women throughout the years and see how that's changed. So that's definitely something I'm considering. I was also gonna talk about my advice column for a minute. I realized that I haven't really been posting much on it, and that's something I'm planning on changing, hopefully. Make sure to send submissions, because without submissions I can't really answer any questions. But I realized that the more I look through the advice column and the questions I give, some of them I feel like I would have changed my mind now, especially the ones, because I posted advice as far back as August 24, 2016. The first one I posted was actually August 10th, 2018. Did I say 2015 before? I meant 2018, but that was a really long time ago, and that was 2 years ago, and I've completely changed as a person since then. So I'd really love to go back and re-examine the answers that I gave for certain advice questions that I got, and also maybe just have a chat series where people can ask me advice and I'll just talk about it on the podcast. But yeah, and so that's some of the things that I've been thinking about. And I'm not filming this because I was too lazy to research another character trope or anything. Ha 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 ha. But yeah, I just sort of close some closing thoughts, which are really long, but I have notes in front of me right now, so that's why I'm pausing to see where I'm at. But yeah, to just reiterate what I was talking about before with just the wide array of women and how complex and how much depth we have, and how unfair it is to try to portray us as a specific thing in the media, whether it's the manic pixie girl or the smart girl or whatever it is. It's just so unfair, and I feel like there's been a lot of progression I've noticed recently in sort of making women fall on a wider spectrum than just one specific trope. A few ideas that come to mind for me are Fleabag. I don't know if anyone's seen, but it's a show, and the main character is just so real. Obviously, because it was written by a woman. I think her name's Phoebe, but I could be wrong. But yeah, just like her character, I remember watching it and just relating to her so much. She's not one specific thing. I can never categorize her as anything, because in real life, women aren't temptresses or smart or funny or ditzy. Like, there's just, like, yeah, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it just blows my mind how the media has been able to get away with this for so long. But yeah, Fleabag, Queen Sono. I remember watching a video by The Take about the strong woman or the badass or something, and I feel like she really redefines the meaning of that, because there's so many points in the movie where she really gets vulnerable, and you see that like there's more to her than just a robot who's strong and able to defeat like anyone she comes across. And she's like most importantly a person. But yeah, and also I haven't watched Wonder Woman, but I've heard a lot of good things about her, and I've watched a lot of like analysis on the movie without actually seeing the movie, which I admit is really weird, but hey. But I've heard that like I don't think I should really speak on this since I haven't watched it, but I've heard good stuff. But yeah, I think what this all boils down to, and what Wonder Woman and Fleabag and Queen Sono have in common, is that they're not based off previous men. Wonder Woman is her own thing. She's always been her own thing. It's not like, I don't know, I've always just found it's the same thing with black people and the remakes of like the live actions of Disney movies with an entirely black cast or a black lead or something. It's like, that's great. It's great that they're trying to integrate black people into like forms of media that have historically been white, but it's kind of, in a sense, it feels like pandering. Like, it's not from a genuine perspective, because just like rewriting, well, not even rewriting, just recasting a story with black people isn't making new stories for black people, if that makes any sense. So I feel like that's the same thing with I think there's a Superwoman or something, a Superwoman movie. I'm searching it up. Well, I'm not sure, but there are probably characters called Superwoman, and that's just basically, oh wait, there isn't a Superwoman character. Wait, Superman. Okay, gosh, I'm really bad at this. I'm sorry, just try to search it up. Oh yeah, so there is a Superwoman character, which is great, and like was probably very groundbreaking for the time she came out, which I think was 1943. So girls obviously had her to look up to. But what is Superwoman? She's a female Superman. That's it. And like, just like, I feel like the reason why characters like Queen Sono and Wonder Woman shine is because they're original. They're not based off men. There's no King Sono, is there? Yeah, I don't think there's a King Sono. I'm pretty sure this is an original, but I searched it up and nothing comes up. So my case in points, there's no King Sono, there's no Wonder Man. They're just original characters that were made for women, probably by women, which is what we really need. So thank you for listening to today's episode. I'm sorry if it was all over the place. I tried. I did make notes. But yeah, make sure to, I guess, comment your thoughts. No one's been commenting, so I feel like it's redundant to say that. But you should comment and like be the first person to. Okay. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode where we'll be deconstructing the dits.